Today we're going to be spending a day in New York City, but there's a catch. I only have $20 to spend. Now, is it even possible to have fun in one of the most expensive cities in the world with almost no money? We're about to find out. Our first stop is in the MoMA, the Modern Museum of Art. They have some really cool pieces like Andy Warhol, Picasso, Van Gogh, things like that. Now, it's about a 20-minute walk from where I live. That's one of the best parts about living in New York City is everything is pretty close. And transportation, if it's not close, is pretty cheap. You take a subway, bus, or whatever. So let's go, come with me. So we just got into the MoMA and you're probably like, Hisham, there's no way the MoMA costs less than 20 bucks. Well, actually, if you go to school in New York State, you could get in here for free. And I came here with some of my college friends, so it cost me totally nothing to get in here. Now, I think the Starry Night by Van Gogh or something is in here. Let's go see it. That's Post Malone right there. It says Posties. How did Vincent van Gogh know about Post Malone? I can't be the only person who looks at art and is like, that's just 10 lines on a piece of paper. Like, anybody could do that. I could do that in my sleep. Yo, I bet Roddy Ricch came to the MoMA and he came to this room, he saw all these boxes, and then he got inspired to make the box. He was like, pulling at the coupon a lot. This guy Jackson Pollock really got super pissed and threw a bunch of paint on the canvas. Now we look at it like art. This is super cool. It's a classic Porsche. You know how expensive this would be? It's actually insane. Alright, so we just finished up at the MoMA, saw some dope pieces of art. Now I have to go meet up with a friend at Washington Square Park. We're probably gonna go have some lunch or something, and this time we're gonna take the subway. So that was the first real money that we spent today, just $2.50 to get onto the subway. The train is gonna take a few minutes, then we're gonna go and get some lunch. Right, we just got a large pie from one of the best pizza spots in the city, Joe's Pizza, right on Carmine Street.
Joe's is right up there, some of the best pizza there is. I'm giving this a strong 8.5. I just really like it.
It's super, super good, and I am so hungry after all that walking in the museum. So let's go over to the park and eat it all. This pizza is so freaking good. It hits the spot exactly where you need it to. And honestly, one of my favorite parts about New York City is that, yeah, we might have some super expensive food. If you want, you could just drop hundreds of dollars on dinner, but you have some of the best cheap foods out there too. And pizza, you could never go wrong with it. The slices are gigantic. You get the most bang for a buck. So honestly, we're gonna devour this really quickly. We're gonna go hang out around the park for a little bit. And if you haven't liked this video yet or subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that and comment how much money you think I actually spent in this video. Because at the very end, I'll go through it all and you can see if you're right. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, but I want to show you one thing. Look at those kennels over there. Anyway, let's go around and let's see what else is happening over here at the park. Alright, we just left the park and now we're headed to one of the newest tourist attractions in the city. It's called Little Island. It's an island that the city spent like $300 million on to build, and I've never been there before. Okay, so we had to take a little bit of a pit stop so I could refresh myself. We came over to the Starbucks Roastery, which is basically a fancier Starbucks with fancier drinks in it. Here are some cool shots of it right now. Now we're inside Chelsea Market, just because it was on the way to Little Island, and I figured it'd be nice to walk through it. It's a cool little spot with a bunch of food shops. Here we are, we're finally at Little Island, the man-made island in the middle of the Hudson River. There's probably gonna be some really dope views up here, so let's go up. So this is like my first time over here, like I said, but it's a really dope island. They have amazing views all around the city. You got the World Trade Center, then over there you have a little bit of a glimpse of the Empire State Building, and they have like 5 concerts going on at one time. So if you're ever in New York City and you want something free to do that's really fun, come to Little Island. I'm gonna go check out one of the other concerts. So I just got back home and we ended up staying out until like midnight. I couldn't record in the dark, so I figured I would just close out the video over here. Now honestly, when we went to Little Island, I thought we were just gonna hang out, enjoy the sunset, and then come right back home. I had no idea they were gonna have so much stuff going on. They ended up having concert after concert, and the crowd was super hyped the entire time. It was also a Sunday night, so I was surprised at how lively it was. You would think that people would go home early on a Sunday so they could get back to work and back into the routine of things. But I guess New Yorkers just don't need any rest. Everyone from grandmas to babies was absolutely living it up. And the best part is that this entire thing was totally free, which just goes to show how much fun you can have even if you don't want to spend a whole bunch of cash in New York City. I also don't think there's many cities where you can just stumble on random events like this and let it make up your entire day, which is one of the reasons I like living here. Now, just like I promised to you earlier on in this video, let me break down exactly what I spent today. And if you haven't already, make sure you comment your guess and let me know if any of these costs surprise you. First, we have transportation. The weather was super nice, so I ended up walking most of the day. And luckily, I live in a pretty central spot, so I can get to a lot of places in the city just within a 30-minute walk. The only money I spent on transportation today was on a train ride from the MoMA to Washington Square Park, and that cost me just $2.75. That's probably cheaper than what a lot of you spend on gas on a normal car ride. I mean, think about it. Let's say gas is around $3 per gallon and your car gets you 30 miles per gallon. That means you can only go 15 miles away from your house before you spend more than a New York City subway ride. Next is entertainment. As you saw, New York City has a ton of things to do for free, and I took full advantage of that. Normally a ticket to the MoMA costs around 25 bucks, but like I said earlier, some schools partner with the MoMA and other museums to get you tickets for free, and because I went with a friend who's in college, I was able to get in at no cost. And I know a lot of you are students, so definitely take advantage of student discounts, especially in big cities. A lot of museums and even restaurants will give you things for free or at a huge discount. So do it while you can, because once you enter the real world, you're gonna have to pay the full price, and that sucks. So even though we spent the entire day out and saw a bunch of cool things, I spent absolutely nothing on entertainment. For most people, the thing you spend the most money on when you go out is probably food. So if you can find quality and cheap food, then it's really easy to have a great time without breaking the bank. And luckily in New York City, there's absolutely no shortage of places like that. That pizza I got had me absolutely stuffed. I was almost in a food coma, and it cost me 23 bucks. But it was split amongst 3 people, so in reality, I spent $7.66 on what I ate. Keep in mind though, it was from arguably one of the best pizza spots in the city. If I wanted, I probably could have found something cheaper and saved a few bucks. There's actually a pizza spot right under my apartment that sells entire pies for just $8. That's 8 slices of pizza for 8 bucks. Now it's most definitely not the best tasting pizza, but if you need something cheap and quick, then you have the option. I also went against the one basic principle every single finance guy online holds themselves to: buying Starbucks. But hey, I tend to be practical and I think it's okay to splurge here and there. And after that pizza, I really needed a nice ice cold drink to re-energize myself. Now drinks at a Starbucks roastery tend to be a little bit more expensive than a normal Starbucks. I spent $6.50 on just one drink. So it's most definitely not the best idea if you're trying to save money, but it still keeps us under our $20 budget. Instead of Starbucks, I easily could have gotten dinner for like 10 bucks and still stayed within the budget. But that pizza had me in no mood for a real dinner, and by the time we left the little island, it was pretty late, so I just wanted to go home and eat some leftovers. Now those leftovers were a homemade meal that must have cost me no more than $1. Now if you want to be super technical and also include my breakfast, I just had cereal. So if you break down the cost of the cereal and milk into one serving, it comes out to around 80 cents, which brings our total spending on food to $15.96, and our total daily spending to around, alright, carry the 2, $18.71. So back to the original question, can you enjoy a day in New York City with only 20 bucks? The answer is yes. You just have to be really smart with how you spend your money. Now this video was very different from my normal stuff, so if you liked it, definitely let me know by hitting that like button and dropping a comment. If a lot of you say you enjoyed it, I'll definitely make another one. Maybe I'll make it even more challenging, like only being able to spend $10. Either way, don't forget to subscribe for more videos and check out one of these. I'll see you next time, but until then, peace.